Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about Marvel Future Revolution, a game that made by Netmarble sounds very familiar when you talk about it, but we actually know very little about it, but that's starting to change. So that's why I wanted to make this video today. We're starting to get more information trickling out online from different sources, and so I wanted to collaborate about that. I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to give you some of my theory and speculation, and I also wanted to go back and give you guys a refresher because man, it's been almost a year since I went to Boston for PAX East, and we saw the first actual gameplay trailer for Marvel Future Revolution. And it's crazy that a year has already passed, but it seems like the game is heating up and hopefully planning for and aiming for a release later this year. So for those of you that are not caught up with Marvel Future Revolution, by the way, that beautiful music hearing in the background, that's Marvel Future Revolution. I think it's the title track. I would hope it's the title track. I want to hear it all the time. It sounds amazing. So this was the last tweet that we've seen recently, well, until recently, for Marvel Future Revolution. You see Tony Stark there, you see some graphic. It's nice little key art. We're sort of used to nice graphical key art stuff from Netmarble Marvel games. And so we've got this Happy New Year thing. And then you scroll ahead, and not that long ago, they said, oh, hashtag the revolution starts here. Check out the latest amazing new key art from Marvel Future Revolution. So this is where things start to heat up. We get the first official key art. I call that other one a key art, but this is the real key art. And it's got a little 2021 down there in the corner for Marvel there, for Marvel Future Revolution. And we can see the four main characters that we've already seen teased in a lot of the content. You've got Dr. Strange, Captain Marvel, Captain America, both captains, and good old Peter Parker, Spider-Man. So this is really, really cool. But then it gets better. So check this out. They tweeted this out just a few days ago. A strong wind gathers as an Omega level mutant descends onto Marvel Future Revolution. Gotta watch myself there. Not to say the Marvel Future fight. Who's ready for Storm? Hashtag revolution starts here. And then we get this really cool, apparently in-game key art, in-game model for Storm, and super high detail. This is Unreal Engine level stuff here, guys. It's actually using Unreal Engine, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. The Astonishing Storm, and it says down there, you can't really see because my thing's cutting it off, but it says playable at launch. So they're expanding the number of playable characters to seemingly include Storm. But then today, 6 hours ago, we get another tweet. So after I saw this tweet, I was like, you know what? I think I have to make a video about this. Now Iron Man has also been confirmed. Tony Stark is ready to test his latest tech in Marvel Future Revolution. Which Iron Man armor do you hope to see in the game? The Invincible Iron Man, playable at launch. So now we've got total confirmation of 6 different characters available at launch. Doctor Strange, Captain America, Captain Marvel. I was gonna mold them into one there. Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Storm. The cast grows, which is really exciting. On top of that, we're getting some tweets from Danny Koo sort of teasing more information that I really wish would be even longer and more, detail and content filled. But let's go and check out what Danny said. So he retweets what Marvel Future Revolution says, and he says, Storm is coming to Marvel Future Revolution as a playable character. She will be the 5th playable character officially announced thus far. As usual, a barrage of new info coming. Stay tuned and follow, all the normal social media stuff. In case people are still asking, yes, this is a global title. So this is an important thing to note because there has been some, reaction in the community to seeing the release, the prolonged release of Marvel Super War, basically only in, the Pacific and in other parts of Latin America and Oceania. Like, it really just hasn't been released yet for players in North America and Europe, as far as I know. But unlike that game, unlike Super War, this is a global title and exclusively mobile. And then Danny drops more information on us today. Iron Man is making a grand entrance into Marvel Future Revolution officially as the 6th playable character. Want more reveals? Follow Marvel Future Revolution for all the cool reveals. But then it gets a little bit more interesting. He says, this is not the same Tony Stark celebrating the New Year's previously. Remember I showed you guys that Tony Stark image, and he's saying it's not the same one. Is he implying that there's different Iron Mans, or has he gone through some sort of, has something bad happened? We'll recap what's happened in the game thus far, as far as we know. But this is kind of interesting. Who is this Iron Man? You'll have to wait and see. And then he reiterates and he calls it the first open world action RPG. So this is cool. I was basically referring to it offhand as an MMORPG. I'm not sure how much of a difference there is between an MMORPG and an open world action RPG. I think they're basically the same, but maybe the connotation, or maybe just what you think of when you say MMORPG, the, you know, expectations become really, really high. And unfortunately, MMORPGs come in two flavors. They come in like your World of Warcraft level MMORPGs that stand the test of time and become sort of relics and these historical monuments of gaming success. And then there's everything else. So I think the MMORPG tag can have a lot of weight associated with it, and it can sort of, you know, people's minds just expand with the possibilities. But really, you know, we should temper our expectations a little bit. As far as the game, it looks gorgeous and it sounds gorgeous and it's mobile, which is bonkers, but it's still, you know, a mobile game. So it's an open world action RPG. It kind of makes more sense. I really want to know really how far that open world aspect is going to stretch, but I'm excited to see that they're, you know, going with this as, you know, instead of just saying action RPG. We've seen a lot of games release and sort of walk backwards from saying they're an MMORPG or saying they're open world, and then just walking it back to just an action RPG or just an RPG or an action adventure game, things like that. Even Cyberpunk recently had to do that. So I like the fact that they're going with open world action RPG. I may be making too big of a deal out of it, but listen, I grew up playing Diablo, so I gotta get excited for action RPG type stuff. He says it's available globally again. And then he says, fun fact, these are the in-game models. This is how it looks. So when you go to the website and you take a look at the images there, that's using in-game footage. And they reiterate that a lot in a lot of their videos. And then he recaps, and this is the important part here. Playable characters announced thus far: Captain America, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Storm, and Iron Man. So two things that I want to sort of read in a little bit if I can. Again, this is purely my own speculation, but playable characters announced thus far. He lists 6 characters, but that doesn't mean that they're done. So we could be seeing more characters, 7 characters, 8, 9, 10, who knows? So that's the first question I have. Are we possibly getting, hopefully we're getting more characters. Who could it be? Who do you guys want to see? Hulk? Thor? There's tons of characters, literally like hundreds of characters in the Marvel Universe that we could be seeing, but it's interesting. Maybe they'll try to maybe balance more of the male and female characters, because right now we only have Captain Marvel and Storm, right? Maybe they'll want to release, like, I don't know, Gamora, Nebula, or, you know, someone else entirely, Thanos. Maybe they'll introduce some villains. And then that's the other thing. There's no villains thus far in these clips. So I want to run you guys now through some in-game videos. I want to show you guys the announcement trailer so you guys can see and get a flavor again for the game, because it's really hype. I don't want to overhype about games. You know, I actually never ended up playing Cyberpunk, and I was so hyped for that game. This game makes me really hyped. Really sick voice acting, really sick animation, Unreal Engine. You know, as far as the look goes, we know Netmarble does not fail. Like, they don't fail to disappoint. They always bring it. So really excited about this game for a lot of reasons. You can see that classic Spidey car, web, and swing. But we see the characters introduced right away, right? We see Spider-Man, we see Captain America. We're going to see, who is this? Captain Marvel in a second. Yep, with those beams, boom, photon combo. And then we're going to see Doctor Strange later. But in this trailer, you don't see any Storm, and you don't see any Iron Man, which is interesting. Okay, so then we're going to cut over to another trailer here where they introduce the heroes. And again, this is using in-game footage, but the way that this looks, right? And remember, he calls it an open world action RPG. It seems to me like it gives me more MMORPG vibes, right? So it feels like there's not going to be that many characters playable. I mean, we know so far there's only 6 playable at launch, and we're hoping the game releases this year. How many more characters would they introduce, right? They're not going to introduce like 20 more characters. So unlike Marvel Future Fight or even Contest of Champions or really any other Marvel game, this one seems like it's going to be more like Marvel's Avengers, where rather than releasing like a huge cast of characters where they all have their shallow little parts to play, it seems like this is going for more of a deep dive to focus on these really key characters. And you gotta admit, like, the characters they've chosen are all rich in history. They've been in the comics for decades, and they're iconic characters. But not only are they iconic characters, but if you look at it from another point of view, they fit different types of characters. So if you look at it from that point of view, you can it starts to take shape as possibly, you know, hinting at what the gameplay might actually end up looking like. I'm gonna play some more gameplay footage here so you guys can get an idea. Unreal Engine gets shown off here. But you can see, for example, Captain America, right? Shield, thick boy. He seems like he's gonna be like a brawler, maybe obviously physical damage, maybe like a tank class, right? But then you got Captain Marvel. Maybe she's sort of like an energy brawler, right? She's probably gonna be a little bit lower defense, maybe higher offense, more damage, but still like close range elemental stuff, or not elemental, close range energy stuff. Then you have Spider-Man. I sort of talked through Spider-Man's animation there, but of course Spider-Man would be like crowd control, right? Webbing, stunning you, that's slowing you down. That's sort of Spider-Man's MO. He's not trying to knock your socks off. He pulls his punches. And then we've got Dr. Strange, of course, lifting up all of those frost giants. Obviously, he's going to be like energy-based CC, so sort of like the energy side, if that were to be a thing, of Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man's sort of like the physical CC. Doctor Strange is like the energy CC. We don't know yet what they're going to do, if they're just going to do a simple physical versus energy or physical or energy, but they both seem to sort of fit that theme a little bit. What does that mean for the rest of the classes, right? What does that mean for the rest of the characters, right? Where does Storm fit? Where does Iron Man fit, right? How are these characters going to interact with each other? And if it's an open world action RPG, you're going to want to build teams. So you're not going to necessarily want to have, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel. You're not going to necessarily want to stack all of the same types of characters on the same team. You're going to want to spread it out and balance it out. Here I want to show the villains again, because they look sick, right? Baron Mordo, MODOK. They also relate to the main characters, right? Obviously, this would be Spider-Man's sort of arch nemesis. MODOK would be for Captain Marvel. Baron Mordo would be for Doctor Strange. But it seems like these are not playable characters, right? Because again, Daniku said 6 playable characters, and we're obviously seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 3.5, because Green Goblin transforms, but 3.5 to 4 different villains. Oh, this one I'd already played this at the end, but yeah, last but not least, I want to cover here the game, the in-game sort of environment. So you've got Xanderth, and I remember Mark Sumerak and Bill Roseman talking about this, is that the world has a really expansive feel, and you travel to all these different zones, right? Sakaar has the relationship to Hulk, but we haven't even seen Hulk possibly announced as a playable character, right? So we don't even know. Maybe he'll be unlocked later on, like maybe he'll have his own storyline. No idea, right? How that's going to relate. But if you think Sakaar, you think Hulk, right? You think that whole storyline there. And we've seen that reiterated in a lot of other Marvel games. And of course, we've seen it in Thor Ragnarok in the movies already. But we've got this place, we've got Xanderth, and it really just gives me major MMORPG vibes. And so I just see the game through that lens when I'm looking at these other things. So it's pretty exciting. It's quite exciting to know that we're going to be getting Storm. And the other thing about Storm that I sort of glossed over at the beginning of the video is X-Men. Storm being announced immediately opens the door to any future characters, including X-Men. And when it comes to Marvel games, that's really what you want to see, right? Marvel has such an expansive history. You want to see as many of these factions taking shape as possible. We haven't had any yet, but imagine getting one member of the Fantastic Four announced as a playable character, right? Just Mr. Fantastic, or just Johnny, or whatever. That's immediately going to open the door to them, right? And so it really, it really gets me excited. I'm really, really hyped for it. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I cannot wait to see more information about this game. We're getting really slowly breadcrumbed. Hopefully they'll drop the whole loaf soon. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'm very, very hyped for this game. And what do you guys think? Who would be the character that you would main if you could only play one character at launch, right? Spider-Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Storm, I said Iron Man already. Yeah, so I said Iron Man twice. Iron Man's not my pick, but I said him twice. I would personally pick Doctor Strange, but that's just me. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.